Good morning, dear student. Today we are going to start the next class, Reptilia, under the superclass Tetrapoda. Dear student, in this picture you can see some example of reptilians. You can see that they are the creeping and crawling organisms. That means what? The class Reptilia refer to their creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. Dear student, earlier we learned the class amphibians, and I told you that amphibians have the organism which can survive in aquatic as well as in terrestrial habitat. But mostly the reptiles are terrestrial animals. Always remember. And then what is the next important things? These are that the reptiles' bodies covered by the dry and cornified skin, epidermal scales or scutes. It's very important. See here class that these all are the example of Reptilia. Now the very important characteristic I will tell you that in reptiles the skin is very dry and cornified. Cornified, that means skin is dry and it is made up of keratin. Keratin is a substance. You can see the skin of crocodile. When you see the skin of crocodile, you can see that crocodile and chameleons, turtles, these skin have the hard covering. Actually, these are the dry scales. These scales arise epidermally, मतलब outer skin, from the outer skin. Understand? Listen, what I want to tell you. You have to learn the characteristic that reptiles have dry cornified scales, epidermal scales is present. Yes. Second things, what I told you that their body have scales, cornified scales is present, which is epidermally arised. Epiderm, that means the external part of their skin. So students, it's very important characteristic. Please listen carefully. These dry or cornified scales didn't have the capability of cell division. So what happened, students? If they didn't have the capability of the cell division, then growth is not occur in reptiles. Obviously growth is occur in reptiles. So what happened when these reptiles grow? Okay, because the scales are epidermally arised, outer part of the skin. They didn't have the capability of cell division, they are cornified. So what happened when the organisms grow like snake and lizard, they shade down their scales. You know the word कैचुली, आपने सुना भी होगा कि सांप ने अपनी कैचुली हटा दी. In a Hindi we called it कैचुली. For your understanding I will tell you this line. So actually what is this, and time to time it's occur. Why? Because what happened, these scales are cornified, that means keratin made. They are only present into the external skin and they didn't have the capability of cell division. So what happened, students, when the organism grow, they make the new scales from their outer part of the skin. So the old scale are shade down. In most of the snake and lizard shade their scales, dry scale time to time. I hope you understand. Now see here, I will explain all the characteristic of reptiles. You can see here, they are mostly terrestrial animals and body is covered by a dry and cornified skin. Here you please mark it and always remember epidermal scale or scutes. Epidermal scale, that means scale are present in reptiles. Scale are present in reptiles, but these scale are epidermal. Okay, that means only in outer skin of outer part of the skin. Next, they do not have external air opening. Tympanum represent air. In amphibians, when I taught you amphibians, I told you that in amphibians only tympanum membrane is present, and this tympanum, which we call eardrum, so this tympanum represent air. Limbs when present because snake didn't have the limbs. So here limbs when present are two pairs. Okay, heart is usually three chambered but four chambered in crocodiles. Please mark it. It's important. And this one is a very important line. Very important line, that they have three chambered heart except crocodile which have four chambered heart. This line is very important. Listen class. Listen. Pisces, fishes. When I taught you fishes, I told you that they have two chambered heart. Yes. Amphibians have three chambered heart. Reptiles have three chambered heart but slightly advanced in comparison to amphibians. Now you learn that reptiles have three chambered heart. Crocodile is under Reptilia, but crocodile have four chambered heart. Listen, exceptional you have to learn better. Next, reptiles are poikiothermal. That means their body temperature is not constant. Listen, what we are reading, the classification of vertebrates. Listen carefully. Vertebrates में जितने भी organism हैं, all are poikiothermal except apes and mammals. ये advanced है. Okay. पोकियोथर्मल इज ऑल्सो नोन एज कोल्ड ब्लडेड. वर्टिब्रेट्स अभी तक हमने जितने भी पढ़े, व्हाट? Pisces, that means fishes, and the next one is amphibians and reptiles. They all are prokiothermal, that means cold blooded. Only two classes under vertebrata are homeothermal, that means warm blooded. They are apes and mammals. Understand? Poikiothermal bacha cold blooded organism. Okay, cold blooded which cannot balance their body temperature. That means time to time their body temperature is changed according to the environment. Is that clear? Time to time, that means according to the environment their body temperature is also changed. It's not a constant. As in a human beings, you know, the body temperature is constant. It remains as it is. In birds also the body temperature, that's why we are warm blooded, homeothermal. But poikiothermal, cold blooded, they are for surviving, they are move in a hibernation and estivations, deep sleep. Okay, summer sleep we called estivation and winter sleep we called hibernation. So you have to learn that reptiles are poikiothermal. In vertebrata, only two classes are there which are homeothermal, that means warm blooded. Rest of the all are poikiothermal. Now snake and lizard shed their scales as skin cast. I already told you about this. Scale didn't have the capability to divide, so when the organisms grow they shed their old scale. Now sex are separated. Fertilization is internal. Amphibians have external fertilization. We learned that frog lay their egg in a water and the sperm in a water. Fertilization is external. But in reptiles, the sex organ is present, so fertilization is internal. They are oviparous, give the egg, and development is direct. You have to direct development, that means there is no any other stage, larval stage is present. What are the example here? Example is Calons and Testudo. You have to learn all the example. Chameleons, calators, crocodiles, alligators, all example you have to learn. Now one thing, what is the difference between tortoise and tortoise? Actually tortoise four limbs, the limbs is modified to swim in a water, tortoise. Okay, it's also can swim in a water also. Tortoise is completely terrestrial. Okay, now in my next video we learn about aves. I hope you understand the reptilia class. I again repeated the main characteristic: creeping and crawling organism. Scales are dry, cornified skin, and epidermal scale. Scales are present only in an external part of their skin. Okay, and tympana membrane is present, but external opening, which we call pinna, is not present. Pinna is only present in a mammalia. Tympana membrane is present in amphibians, reptiles, apes. They all have the tympana membrane. Okay, this is all for today. Thank you.